Okay, I'm back with part 2 here. But like I said, it takes near 7.5 years from 134 to 222 to get them back together. So honestly, if it takes them that long to get back together, different writers and all, and in between that time, they were actually starting to get on the mend a little bit. They were starting to become good friends again. And instead of hanging out and be chummy with each other. So you're telling me that in between all that, so you're telling me between all that, fans didn't have a shipping war? Of course they did. Of course they did. But I will say this. For some odd reason, maybe it's just me, I didn't see much Sonic Sally, Sonic Amy bickering between those 7.5 years. Yeah, some people were not happy that, Sonic and Sally flirted at times, but there was no real bickering. And I think that's what Ian Flynn wants to aim for again. I think he's realizing, look, it's been done before, it can be done again. We just got to let these people cool it off, let them cool down from the bickering, and then slowly, like we've done in the past, build that relationship back up, but to a point from a story standpoint that it's more acceptable and more understanding. Basically to the point that fans, without being confused, will at least get it. They'll be like, okay, I get it now. I understand. Sonic and Sally are meant to be together, and this is why. I get that. I understand that. And to me, I think that's what he's aiming for. I really do, folks. I mean, I'm not trying to say that he's not going to automatically, like, within the next year, he's going to say, okay, let's put Sonic and Sally back together. No, he's going to take his time with this. Just like a lot of people are waiting for Mary Jane and Peter Parker to be back together, whether they are or not. They're still waiting on that. They're still waiting. Even with the new 52, as much as some fans may be still wanting to see Superman and Lois Lane back together, they're still waiting. They're still hoping for it. Yeah, you got a nice constellation prize with the Man of Steel and the Amazon Princess. Still, there's a lot of longtime fans that want to see Lois Lane, Superman, Clark Kent back together. They want to see it. But the thing is, what they've done in those areas, just like here, is they've cooled off from there. Especially in Spider-Man. You can almost look at the same length, if you will. Same length almost. 7.5 years, if not more so now. They've been waiting for that to happen again. And eventually it's going to happen. And the same with Sonic and Sally, and I think that's what Ian Flynn's plan is. He wants the whole situation between the fans to cool down to the point that when he starts to slowly build back up to Sonic and Sally being together, should he go in that direction. And I think it's a little too obvious and a little too obvious for him not to do it. And I think he knows fans are expecting him to do it. And I think, in a sense, in my opinion, I think he wants to do it, but what he wants to do is wait for that right moment to make it happen, to make it a realization, to make it a reality, because I believe what he's doing is he's slowly going to start building up to it. He's going to slowly start building up and building up and building up, and then we're going to get to the point that as he slowly starts to build things up, he's going to get to that moment, he's going to say, this is the moment. This issue here is going to be it. This will be the issue. This will be the arc where we get these two back together, and it's going to be in a way fans are going to understand and hopefully accept as well on a more understanding and less confusing level. Because I think that's what kind of got to the fans was, because I think honestly that's how, from his point of view, I think he sees how the fans got. It's like it became confusing for them. It became a confusing situation. It's like, well, wait a minute. You have Sonic and Amy, in the games, but yet you have the Sonic and Sally from the Saturday morning cartoon show, which is not around anymore, but is on Netflix and on DVD box set, but is also still represented in the comics, and very strongly all over the internet. Who do we choose? Who's better? Well, Sonic should be with Amy because Amy's in the games and all that. But yet, he should be with Sally because she's been seen more often. She's more well known at times than Amy. Yet Amy's been in the games and more around and blah blah blah. It's like, and I think that's how Ian views it. I think viewed it. He viewed it as being confusing for a lot of fans. Thus, why the shipping wars began, because they didn't know exactly, in a sense, in his point. This is my opinion. Remember, this is my opinion. From his point of view of exactly where to go, and that's just the truth of it. That's the truth. I mean, you can agree with it, you can argue with it, but that's the truth. And I know some people may not like to hear it. They may not like to hear it, but that's the truth. From what I can tell, and I think Ian Flynn even feels the same way. Now, will he put Sonic and Sally back together next year? Maybe not. Will he do it before the comic ever ends? Oh, heck yeah, he'll do it before the comic ever ends. In fact, I guarantee as soon as we read Lost Hitchcock Tales, that's exactly what we're going to see. We're going to see that they're still together in Lost Hitchcock Tales. When that gets released, I think we're going to see that. But to me, it's more along the lines that I believe he's going to get these two back together, but he's going to make it it's going to be a slow build. A slow build, a more slow build, a more appropriate build, to the point that, like I said, and I know I sound like a broken record here, that when it does happen, it'll happen at a moment where fans will be less confused, will be more acceptable, and will be more understanding of the fact that, okay, Sonic and Sally are meant to be together. That is why I think he's cooling off right now. He's not getting rid of them entirely, he's just cooling it off. Right? That's all he's doing. And again, I'm pretty sure he's going to be asking the same thing I'm asking. What are fans going to do when Sonic Boom comes out and you have these, if not already, these Son Ursi fans, which is short for Sonic Percy, shipping against Son Amy? What are you going to do then? Exactly. It just, and I think Super Princess Daisy said it best on her YouTube channel. These fans, it's ridiculous what these fans are doing. I mean, you have a lot of fan art that's coming out lately that from fans that are sick and tired of it too. They basically have the characters of Sonic and Amy going like, hey guys, enough's enough. We're not enemies. We're not going to fight each other because of Sonic. We'll accept it. I mean, you had Ian Flynn, for goodness sake, write a moment in Sonic 222 where Amy was mature enough to accept that Sonic was happy with Sally, that was happy being with Sally, and that if being with Sally made Sonic happy, it made her happy for him. And yes, she did indicate that someday her and Sonic would be together, or that Sonic would be hers someday. But until the time is right, if Sonic's happy being with Sally, then that makes her happy for him. And that's a very mature statement. It's a very mature, grown-up, full circle moment for Amy Rose. Yeah, you have her referring to Sonic as her Sonic in the recent issues and all that, but that's the play into what you read, what you watch in the games, or what you see in the games, what you've seen in Sonic X, which are probably going to see in Sonic Boom. So that to me is the reason why. All right? But to me, that is the reason why I believe Ian Flynn is cooling down right now. Because if that one moment in 222 is not enough to tell fans, hey, look, even tell fans that, hey, look, even Amy Rose is going to accept it, then then basically he feels, hey, I've got no choice right now. You guys are basically painting me into a corner. I've got no choice but to kind of put a halt, kind of put a stop to the Sonic-Sally relationship until the time's right to start to build it back up appropriately so it's less confusing for you and you guys can accept it on a more understanding level and see exactly why they're meant to be together. But again, that's just my opinion on it. So let me know what you guys think, though. What do you think of Ian Flynn cooling down, if you will, in my opinion, on the Sonic Sally moments in the comics right now? Do you think he's doing it to slowly build the relationship back up to a point to a moment where fans will be more acceptable and will be more acceptable and accept it on a more understanding basis and see why these characters are good to be, are good for each other? Or do you think he was left with no choice? Let me know what you guys think. Comment down below, and I will talk to y'all later.